láyé olúgbọ́n mo ké borùn méje ẹ ò máa kọ̀ yí lórin láyé àrẹ̀sà mo ké borùn mẹ́fà ẹ ò máa kọ̀ yí lórin láyé ìsẹ̀yìn èmi ra kókò mo ra rán mo ra sányán bàbá sọ àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè pélé.
Hello everyone, my name is Adeyemo Adegbemiga Ganiu. I welcome you all to my new Yoruba Abrahamic YouTube video. Today we'll be touching on the identity or the origin of the angels or giants origin in the world, specifically from Africa, where humanity all started from, directly from the Yorubaland, if you must say, being the most ancient on earth. So that is a fact. We need to just understand that in Yoruba land, the name for giant is commonly known as Omiran. Omiran in Yoruba land. And if we go deeper to the real interpretation of Omiran among the Yoruba people, Omiran basically means someone with extraterrestrial features, or someone who has an extra appearances that look more than the common human you can find around. So it's a general word. It doesn't basically mean that that person have to be so gigantic to an extent that his head will be all over the cloud while his feet will be on the head, the way he's being portrayed in Abrahamic movies, in cartoons, in modern day fictional depictions or stuff like that. So Miran basically means someone who has extraterrestrial features. It might be a real human being who is naturally fat, or who is ordinary fatty, or you understand what I'm trying to say, Sha? That is what Omiran actually means. But today, modern people have exaggerated beyond the actual reality, just like they exaggerated the concept of angel, because angel too in Yorubaland was derived from Imole Onike, Imole to mú ìkẹ́ bọ̀, which the Abrahamic people from the Quran side dub as Malaika, Imole Oni-Ike. Do you understand? And Imole in Yoruba land not necessarily mean light or flashlight or something that flash from the sky, the way we continue to portray it. These are false narration, because Imole in Yoruba can mean a divinity, a divine being, or someone in the state of pureness. Like Omo Mole, this child is a divine child. That is what the concept of Imole. So when they say angels are Imole, not necessarily mean that they have to be sparkling light. The way so these are exaggeration beyond their actual reality. So these are exaggeration. These are what the modern people continues to portray to numb the Africans and completely derail from the reality of who these angels are. So when they refer to an angel, they're actually talking about their divinity, not their gigantic look, two shoulder bed. All these things, they are just fictional. That is just so. In the same context, it is where the concept of Omiran is actually derived from. So Omiran too is not really giant the way they do it. Omiran actually means someone who has extraterrestrial feature. It might still be within the height of the humans, but just bigger than the usual status. Do you understand? So that is where the concept of, no, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it cannot be like that, but we basically focus our attention to the gigantic part, which is completely false. That is where I'm going to. So in the Abrahamic book, in the Torah and the Quran, they also respectively reflect on these Omiran, which are angel beings. We can see that in the ancient days with the Yoruba people being the first people in Africa and being the most ancient in Africa, and we know humanity started from Africa. Among the Yoruba people thousands of years ago, let's reference to Genesis 6, where they said, I will brief it down. They said the sons of the Almighty, which are angels but are natively dubbed as Irunmole Orisha in Yorubaland, did descended down to the earth. That's number one. Number two, when these sons of the Almighty, I mean the Orisha Irunmole, when they descended down to the earth, they all intermarried the earliest sort of the Yoruba people from Ile-Ife, the land we have transformed into a human being, Edena, that was dubbed as Eden, today Ile, or the Garden of Eden, Ogba, Garden of Eden. When the Orisha Irunmole, the angels, descended down to Ile-Ife in today's Yoruba land, They married the first set of the human, which are the core Yoruba ancestors that naturally emerged from Obatala. Because Obatala, you can check my earlier video about who Obatala is, his relative identity to the word of Adam, and how you will understand. Go and check my earlier video. So when they came down, they married the first set of the Yoruba people that dwelled at Ile Ife. And let's give some, and they also intermarried themselves too. Angels married angels, and the angels also marry the first set of Yoruba people in Yorubaland. Do you understand? So that is what the Genesis was basically saying. So let's give an instance of one Irumole Orisha in Yorubaland. You can all Google it, or if you have chance, go to Yorubaland and go and make your visit. You will be shocked about what the Genesis actually means. Let's put Alaafin Shango as a good example. Alaafin Shango in Greeks was depicted as Zeus. You can see in my earlier videos even how Omar, the first man to the first Caucasian man to ever write a poetry book in the entire world, how he related to it that Zeus is not their own god, he's a myth in their own land. It was initially an Ethiopian god who existed in Ethiopia, and the Egyptian adopted his concept. He adopted his concept and reflected it to, and from Egypt it became other portion of it which the rest of the world now depicted. So Omar said it in his own Iliad and Odysseus in the book that was first published. So that is it. So Alaafin Shango is the same person the Greeks depicted as Zeus in their own book, which the Roman depicted as Jupiter, and which the Egyptian also depicted as Amun in ancient Egyptian. They are all referring to the legacy of, they are all attributing their pantheon god to the identity of Shango Lukoso, who earlier ruled Oyo town in Yorubaland. We know in Yoruba people that this same Shango, he had many wives at Oyo. Go to Oyo, go and find out he had many wives. And among the Yoruba wives he also decided to choose Oya from Ofa as his angelic wife. So Shango married Oya. At the same time, he married many indigenous Yoruba women. Do you understand? So this is just an example of what the Genesis was actually saying. And among these people, the Oya, the Yoruba wives, they had random children. So some of them are pure Irumole angel attribute. Some of them are mixed angel genetic with DNA among the Yoruba people. And that is the concept of how the Yoruba people emerge, or the origin of the Yoruba people. If you don't know who Shango Lukoso is, he is an Irumole, an angel. He could breathe fire from the mouth. He could control thunderstorms. He uses 2 matches as an electrified tool, and could do many unthinkable things, and his fellow angelic beings like Oyotu. That is where the concept. If you actually check the kind of attributes which his angelic fellow wife too also had, someone like Oya too could control winds, could initiate cut of the storm across the earth, could transform into any different object or animal, and could do also other things. So these 2 angelic beings, they are direct angels of the Almighty, which the Yoruba commonly dub as Orun Imole, which the Quran dub as Irumole, which the Quran dub as Imole Ike, and why the English language people completely attribute them as angels from their own narrative. They are the same set of people whose legacy has been depicted across the world. So that is where those. So when Genesis was actually saying the angels married the daughters of men, they're actually talking about the Irumole Orisha that came to different Yoruba land or Yoruba state to marry Yoruba earliest people from Ile Ife, where Onirisha rule today. And they had children, direct children of human flesh, direct children of mixed angels, angelic, and direct children of pure angels in random fact. So that is where those concepts are actually coming from. And you can also see references in Suratul Iman Quran, similar in Imran Quran 3 verse 33 to 34 in the Quran as well. The Almighty, which is commonly known as Ella or Eledumare in Yorubaland, that AL was what the Torah people adopted as L, and they now join other random abbreviated words to it, like Elohim, Eluya, Ella Kinikon, Elahija, so they just, but it's all about Eledumare, L. That same L now became what the Islamic people too took as Allah, that became Allah. in a pure direct pronunciation. So when I'm talking about the Quran or the Bible, I'm actually referencing to the message of the Olodumare from different Yoruba people far away from Yorubaland in today's southwest of Nigeria, which most of them don't even remember anymore. Why some still remember? This is why you could see that the messages in those two books are pure Yoruba narrative from Yorubaland and across and beyond today's southwest of Nigeria. So in that same Quran, the Almighty, which is Olodumare, did reference to the same angel too, but many Muslims don't pay attention enough to get to know it. In that surah, Quran 3 verse 33 to 34, he said, "We have appointed Adam." Go and check my earlier video. You will know who Obatala is, how he became the first Adam and also an archangel who descended down to heaven, and the Almighty created him with his own hand. It's different from we that emerged of earth. So Obatala is an half angel, half Irumole, is in between. You can go and check my video. I explain it in details. So we have appointed Adam, which is Obatala. We have appointed Noah, which I did in my other videos as well, Baba Oluwa, and gave references to how he came from Ondo, how he lived his entire life from Ondo, and everything like that. And we have also appointed the Abraham's son. Who are the Abraham's son? The descendant of the Abraham. I will do a video about Abraham, how he lived in Yorubaland in today's Ile-Ife. Mind you, if I'm referencing to a direct Abrahamic people's name, these are not their name, they are nicknames. So they are real Orisha, which the Yorubas are actually familiar with in Yorubaland still today, but they don't seem to acknowledge it because the Europeans have used Alupa Ida. They've interchanged it for them. Take the original one, change the name, paint. It's like stealing a calabash, now repainting it with different mixed color and reselling it back to the African. So the African will even realize that they actually own the calabash. Why the Europeans keep using the benefit of the calabash, the mercy or the prosperity of the blessing of the calabash to their own advantage. Why Africans keep chasing shadows? Do you understand? That is satanic act, if you must know. So he said, we have appointed Baboliwa and the sons of Abraham. He now said, and also we appointed the Imran. Till today, there is no scholar in the entire world, either from the Islamic space or from the Christianity space. No scholar will be able to come out to tell us who the lineage of Imran is or the father of Imran. But I will be glad to actually tell you today that the Imran is a name that was derived from Omiran, and Omiran in Yorubaland are the giants. You can see in that, let's go back to that Genesis 6, which I first talked earlier. It is said that after this angel came down and had children with the first set of human beings that lived on earth, these Omiran now became divine people. There is nowhere in the entire Torah or in the entire Quran where the Almighty said these Omiran, these giants, Nephilim, now became a cursed demon. They became a bad person. They became anti-heaven kind of people. The Torah specifically said they become people of honor. Let me break it down for you furthermore, you understand. The Torah said they became people of honor. What does honor mean in Yorubaland? The honor basically means ebowon, which is why the Yoruba honor these angels, these angel giants. If you hear a typical Yoruba man, they will say, "Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ Shango, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ Ògún. Let's go and honor Shango. Let's go and honor Eshu. Let's go and honor these people." They are basically doing exactly what the Torah has said. The Yoruba traditionalists don't worship these people; they honor them. If you're a Yoruba person, maybe you should interpret it to the confused one around you. The meaning of honor in Yoruba means bo, ẹ jẹ́ ká bọ wọ́n. In traditionally they will say ẹ lọ bọ orí ẹ, ẹ lọ bọ ẹlẹ́dàá ẹ, ẹ lọ bọ ìyá ẹ, bọ̀wọ̀ fàgbàlagbà. Respect the king, respect your parents, respect the elderly one. That is where the concept of bo, and the Bible Genesis eventually said these people, the sons of angels, now became people of honor, people of Bibo, which their sons, the Yorubas, are now honoring to today. It doesn't matter how we honor Shango, whether we slaughter ram, whether we make use of the kola nuts or the palm oil, it's still under the concept of honoring. Ẹ jẹ́ ká bọ wọ́n. So the Yoruba traditionalists are not doing anything contrary to the divinity of the Almighty. This is what many Yoruba don't actually know. So when you see a traditionalist, they are actually righteous. They are extremely righteous. They are right on the right path of human being. But because we have religious sentiments, we have these politics in religions. If you don't believe in what I believe, you are a bad person. If you don't do just like I do, you're a bad person. This is why we continue to try to segregate among ourselves. So the Yorubas, traditionalists, one boy Shango, one boy Oya, who honor Shango, who honor Kini, they are directly doing what the Almighty required of them, and which is Almighty is pleases with them, just like the Genesis 6 actually detail. So like I said, they now said these Nephilims now became people of honor. Any Orisha, any Orishada. This is why the Yoruba honors them. So let's now further go into it. There is nowhere in the entire book of the Torah except the one which they claim is an hidden or lost, whatever they say, that they became demons. That's their own cup of tea and headache. And we just need to understand, when these Irumole, which are the angels or giants, when they came to the Yoruba land in ancient days, there was nothing like Nigeria. There was nothing like Africa, to be precise, because we are talking about the very earliest set of people who lived on earth. It's like the fewest people who dominated those places. The angels, what they now did is that they founded the Yoruba land. Like, if you must know, the first Adam, which is commonly attributed to Obatala directly and indirectly, he is the one who founded the land of Ile-Ife, the first land where humanity first lived, the entire universe. It was Obatala that founded this place, and he founded it, created for his own half-mixed or direct Omiran angels who dwelled there. If you look at the concept of Oyostu, Oyo was basically founded by Oranmiyan, who is commonly the father of the Oyo people. He founded those places alongside some other people too who have pre-existed between him. They developed those places, turned the place to empire. They fought many wars, cleared the land for their own children, not for the entire world. Then later, if you now check out Ondo too, the great ancestral father of Ondo too was Ogun. Ogun too did the same thing for the Ondo people. Today, he founded Ogun. He founded the entire places, established a settlement there, and make sure his own children, his blood kids children, the mixed race of the angels, the Yoruba people of Ondo State, they also occupied that places too. Ogun too by Yemeja, Shaki by Agunju, so many places like that. These were where the angels now founded across Yorubaland before it now became Yorubaland. So Yorubaland was basically founded by the very angels of the Almighty or God in heaven. And every knowledges which the Yoruba had are given to them directly from the Almighty. There is no knowledge in the entire world that you can't find in Yorubaland. There is no solution in the entire world you can't find in Yorubaland. As a matter of fact, if you must know, the late Alaafin of Oyo that died, that just died of recently, the man has the power of death. Go and make your findings. They speak directly with the divine people. It is their heritage. They have extreme power. So when you now see in the book of Enoch, when they said that these angels gave the direct children on earth, they gave them the secret of heaven. This is what they actually mean. The angels gave the Yoruba, we, their children. If you like, call us the Yoruba demon. That's your own cup of tea. Our fathers are not demons. They gave the Yoruba all the knowledge in heaven and earth. This is why the Yoruba are extremely brilliant. In fact, they are suffering from over brilliance today because there are too many bosses in Yoruba land. And two bosses can't ride the same ship. That is what the Yoruba is suffering from today. They fight themselves to death in terms of knowledge. They antagonize themselves. So it's like a blessing and it's also like a curse. This is why Yoruba, they are too money brilliant. So each time the Yoruba leave the shore of Africa, they perform greatly because they always see a platform to express their intelligences there. So that is where the concept. So these Orisha, the angels, they developed the Yoruba land for we their son, the Yoruba people. This is why Yoruba land became a great land of today. Like if you now see, and as a result of that, their descendants from each respective location in Yoruba land now became those who focuses their honoring to them, who focuses their worshiping to the Almighty through them. Like in Ondo, the Ondo people now basically worship the Almighty through their Ogun tradition and right till today. There is no Ondo descendant that is not into Ogun, either directly or indirectly, because his father was the founder of the place. So they always actually praise the Almighty through their father. So they are not worshiping Irumole, they are honoring Irumole and worshiping the Almighty, which is why Bibo means to worship, Bibo means to honor, Sinsin means to worship. I hope you get the differences. But the foreigners, they try to randomize everything in order to confuse you people and start to dub your ancestors as evil and pagan people. They basically have no idea what is right or wrong. So that is where it comes. Now let's talk about the gigantism or the gigantism natures of this Yonomole, if you know. And I will use the common word which the word can easily reference to, or which you can make your own findings to. Let's talk about Alaafin Oromiyan as a cited example. Look very closely at the hand staff of Alaafin Oromiyan, which is about 18 feet tall, that is installed at Oyo. Look at it very well. We call this an hand staff. Do you know what an hand staff means? Something you can hold in your hand. So if a staff of a man is like this, can you imagine how tall the man will be in his real life? Just try and picture it. As a matter of fact, Alaafin Oromiyan is more or less like a demon, if you must look at him. A divine one. One part of his body is black, one part of his body is white. If we are in our right senses, it's so obvious this is not a human being. With his tallness, his gigantic look, his appearances, his ability to do unthinkable things, he can disappear, do all these things. These are angel beings. He can appear, disappear, he can do all those kind of things. And he fought all the Yoruba's enemy till the day he left this world, because he was so after how Yorubas will be great, how the Yoruba will be saved from all evil and invaders. So if Yorubas enjoying the foreigners to be saying their own forefather are evil, basically you don't know what you are doing. You are cursed. You are naturally cursed. Because these are the people who fought their entire life to make sure that your existence remain as today and you continue to be the leader of the world, while you are taking the advantage of their mercy to relate with the Almighty. If not for them, did the Almighty know anyone in Yorubaland? The Almighty only loved them. He loved the Yoruba because of their forefather, and that's where the idea of God's son came from. The Genesis 6 dubbed them as the sons of the Almighty. And you, the Yoruba, you are the grandson of the Almighty. That is the chain between you. So whenever God, the Almighty, is saying the Torah in the Bible, like the way God said, the Oya Sheriola, my own first son, is practically saying, you are my grandchildren, the son of God, the child of God. That is where the concept is coming from. You Yorubas, you are the son of the Almighty. It's not because you are special or anything. It's only because you came through the direct sons of the Almighty in heaven. This is why you have endless privilege than the entire humanity in the world. You can see it in the Quran as well too. I think Surah Nisan also, where the Almighty also said, have you people, Yoruba, have you forgotten that I distinct you from the rest of the humanity? I make you the head of the world. Why are you people misbehaving? Why are you people acting like a spoiled child? Because I gave you everything. He is reminding us. So that is where so if you now see the gigantism of Shango, Alaafin Oromiyan, you will have an idea of what the rest Irumole to also look like. He was a giant. He was looking extraterrestrial, and they are the beginner of the concept of gigantism in the world, being the ancient days when no human have been in existence across Africa. So Oromiyan was very gigantic. He's about 18 feet according to some history. His body was black and whitish. He was a king, a warrior, a divine entity of heaven, and committed lover of every single Yoruba sons and daughter till he eventually vanished off this earth. He defended and mercilessly fought every single enemies that intend to invade Yorubaland, and did vanish with promises that they can also always summon his spirit anytime the Yorubas are in distress in the future. But the Yorubas today, we've become Jesus follower. This is why the Europeans were able to penetrate our life, and ever since we've enjoying this religion thing. Let me ask you, is Yorubaland now better than the way it was in the ancient days? No. Is the world now better with all the churches, mosques, billions of churches in the world? In fact, evil keeps growing, and that is they tell you that religion did nada for humanity. It did nada. So, in fact, prostitution, immorality and vices, corruption, hard drugs, lesbianism, cocaine, war, so many things now prevail despite all the churches, mosques we are. It tells you that it's just a pure business. Maybe the Yoruba have to revert back to what those your grandfather, and now go back to make the Yoruba great the way it was in the ancient days when the Almighty actually walked the earth with them. It's just an advice. So I'm not here to campaign for any religion. No. So that is just my own candid advice with the way the reality is from me. So that is for that. Now let's jump into the account of the Greek philosopher. Let me rephrase it. I'll take the Greek philosopher. The Greeks are the first set of the Caucasian Europeans to ever get educated in the entire world, and they got their educations from the black elite, from the Ijebu people that dwell, you will understand, that dwell in North Sudan, which is Nubian land and part of East Africa. It was the Ijebus. When the Greeks came, they said they had their knowledge from the wise men of the Nile Valley, because the entire civilization of Egypt started from the Nile, and the Nile Valley are dominated by the Nubians, while the Nubians are Omonuabi, whose partition colony were within the Ijebu people and the Ondo people minority that dwell there. The Ondo people resided at the Dongola region, while the Ijebu people resided at the Ijebu-Baka region. They are true Yoruba set of people with different ethnic side, even though they recognize themselves as whatever. I will touch that on. So these are when the Greeks came to North Africa, they got their education there, and they happens to be the first set of white people to ever receive education, while their teachers were the Ijebus at the Ondo as the Nubian region. So what they learned were basically about the Yorubas in general, the Yorubas from North Africa, the Yoruba that dwell in North Africa and the Yoruba that dwell in West Africa. Now we can also see in those Greek accounts like Herodotus, Theodotus, and all these stores from Greek Falas and co. You can see in there, they said when they came, they actually about hundreds of years ago, about 600 or so, when they came to Africa, they made it known that not that there are no other tribe, but they said the major two tribes in Africa that owns Africa, that dominated, were the Ethiopians and the Egyptians. Sometimes the Egyptians are sometimes dubbed as the Libyans, according to them, from random Greek philosopher accounts. They are the Egyptians, but what was constant was that the Ethiopians were the majority, and they describe who the Ethiopians as. Like I said in my earlier video, I'll put the video, look at this picture as well again. The upper Ethiopians, who are the Nubian, the Ijebu, and the middle Ethiopians, who are the Oyo or Ile-Ife Yorubas in West Africa. And they also addresses it, they make it very, very glaring, because in the Herodotus account also, he also made it that the Ethiopian they founded, there are two group of people. Some dwell at where the sun rises, which is East Africa, within the Nubian area, where the Omonuabi, the Ijebu, and Kodwe, and where the sun sets, the West Africa, where the Yorubas dwell in West Africa. And you can also see that the Ethiopian river, the Ethiopian Ocean, which is today's Trans-Atlantic Ocean, that passes through the Badagry down to the Dahomey, Togo, Ghana, it is also known as the Ethiopian Ocean. So the Greek philosopher are actually addressing the Yorubas from both ends, the Omoluabi and Omaniogo in Negro land. They are the two kind of the Ethiopian they are referring to, the upper Ethiopian and the middle Ethiopian. And they said among these Ethiopians, they are so pious in nature. They are the most handsome men and women in the entire earth. Their life is so divine on earth. Their life is so divine. Ọmọ wọn ní ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́, ìwà tó dára jù tọ́lọ́run ọba ń yọ́nú sí. They have the most divine way of life to an extent that the gods dwelled among them. Àwọn òrìṣà arúnmọlẹ̀, angels, wọ́n ń gbé láàrin wọn. They are actually referring to the Shango, Ogun. Do you understand where it is? A simple analysis, a simple logic. The gods dwells among them. The Europeans don't understand them the way we, the Yoruba, knows them. To the Yoruba, they are not gods. They are messengers of the Almighty. They are not gods. They are messengers. You can call them Lord. because the word Lord is a general word that someone above the rest, but they are not the Almighty. But the foreigners, they don't understand the differences between Lord and God. To them, they are Lord and they are God. But we, the Yoruba, we understand the logic of heaven and earth. We know that the utmost Almighty is Eledumare, which is the El, the way we say it, Elohim, or Allah, or Allah, or whatever. So this is where they are coming from. That is to testify that the Yoruba actually lived with the gods, with the giants, with the people who founded this world, and this is why humanity started with them. Do you understand what I'm going to? So it's just a brief analysis, and I will see you in my next video. I thank everyone who is subscribing to my video. Please help me subscribe if you haven't. Let me share my video. I need to clock 1,000 subscribers, and I'm already close to it. Even though after 1,000 I still want to be growing. I want something that will get me committed to this channel, and that is only when I get monetized. I will be committed, because you can't have a job that is paying you and you should not want to fill it with something that is reasonable or want to protect it. This is why I keep saying people should, because that is the only thing that will get me looking for more information and bringing it into your table. Let me subscribe, me press the like button. Please, those of you who will watch my video and you really like it, stop forgetting to subscribe, please. After watching it, please help me subscribe. Make your comment know below. We discuss anything you want me to do. This is why I take my time to reply every comment below my comment section. I will see you in my next video. Love you all. Bye for now.